Dear students, today I will teach you a new chapter from Vistas on the Face of It by Susan Hill. This is one act play having two scenes and two characters. The play deals with the problem of the disabled people. It is not the actual pain or inconvenience caused by the physical impairment that troubles a disabled man, but the behavior of the people around him. Derry, a young lad of 14 years with a burnt face from acid, and the other, Lamb, an old man with a tin leg. Both are disabled, but both can be called the two aspects of the same coin. Derry had developed a negative attitude towards life, and he had developed the inferiority complex also, while Lamb had the positive bent of mind, and he feels that life is to live, not to live. Through the characters of Derry and Lamb, we will come to know how the physical impairment create problem in the life of a person. And the difference of the attitude matters. The people who have positive attitude towards life, physical impairment cannot change them. They live a better life. But those who develop negative attitude towards life, pessimistic bent of mind, they suffer too much. Mr. Lamb motivates Derry to think positively about life, people and things. When Derry comes into the contact of Lamb, his whole life is transformed. So how he comes into his contact, I am starting the story, and pay attention to each and everything. Mr. Lamb is sitting in his garden. He is an old man with a tin leg. His leg was blown off in an explosion in war. He is open-minded man. He accepts everyone, whoever comes to his garden. The gates of garden are always opened. And he has evolved ways and means to overcome his feelings of loneliness and disappointment. Children teased him, calling Lemmy Lamb, but he never minds. And he likes to listen to the song of birds and the rustling of the tree leaves. Derry meets Mr. Lamb. One day, Derry sneaks into his garden, hidingly. Actually, Derry has become defiant and withdrawn due to his disfigured face. He thought people don't like to see his face because of his ugliness. So he walks through the long grass and sneaks into his garden. And he is very much scared when Lamb speaks to him. And Lamb asks him to walk carefully, because the long grass is littered with wild apples dropped by wind. Derry panics and wants to go, but Lamb asks him not to leave. He told him that he doesn't mind anybody coming into his garden. Derry tells Lamb that he is not afraid. People are afraid of him because of his ugly and disfigured face. But Lamb consoles him. Lamb tells him that he should accept the harsh realities of life bravely. And he tells him that he himself is never annoyed when children call him Lemmy Lamb. Lamb tries to divert the views of Derry from his burnt face to the fruits in the garden, but Derry keeps on talking about his ugly face. Lamb tries to make him understand that it is the inner beauty of a person that matters, not his outer beauty. Derry tells that even his mother kisses him on one side of his face. and he thought that mother is also prejudiced. He says that he has to spend whole of his life with his half face. Lamb tells him that he doesn't make any difference between a flower plant and a weed, since both are living and growing plants. He remarks that Mr. Lamb can put on trousers and cover up his tin leg. Then Mr. Lamb reminds Terry of a fairy tale of Beauty and the Beast, in which the princess kisses the beast, who in turn changes into a handsome prince. This makes Terry understand that ugliness is only skin deep. A man is not what he looks like, but what he really is. Handsome is that handsome does. This story is to inspire Derry, and he should not care for his burnt face. But Derry tells that people stare at his face and they are afraid of him. Lamb says many words of encouragement to Derry. He tells that he must not hear the things which he doesn't like. The best thing is to keep his ears shut and need not pay attention to such talks. Mr. Lamb tells him about the bees. He tells that he likes the buzzing of the bees. Some people may not like the buzzing of the bees. They would not feel the sound beautiful, but for him it is a very sweet music. He tells that it is only the difference of the attitude, what people see in a thing. Then Lamb tells him another story of a person who was afraid of everything, who never wants to go away from his home. He had always the fear of being run over or getting infected or meeting with some accident. So he locked himself in a room. There a picture fell on his head and killed him. Derry was very much afraid of his life. He thought that how would he survive, how would he live with the people. Lamb tells him that his limbs are intact. He had got a brain and limbs. He can achieve whatever he likes, and he can be better than others. Derry tells that he had heard women saying that people with similar deformities should live together. But Mr. Lamb thinks it odd, and since people with similar disabilities are not the same, because people may have the similar kind of disabilities, but they may have the different bent of mind. One may be positive, one may be negative. Lamb tells him that the world is full of variety, and variety is the spice of life. Derry is surprised at the vast knowledge and wisdom of Lamb, and is too much affected by Lamb's personality. Mr. Lamb tells that he knows all these things by watching, listening, and thinking. He tells Terry that he has got a full body. He can do anything like other people, or may do better than others. Mr. Lamb says that he sits in the sun and reads the books. He likes the windows open to hear the wind. Lamb tells that he has a lot of friends everywhere. Everybody who comes in his garden is his friend. Derry wonders how a person can be his friend about whom he knows nothing. Derry says that there are some people he hates, but Lamb remarks that hatred would do more harm than any bottle of acid. Acid only burns our face or so, but hatred can burn us away from inside. Means if we hate people, it burns us from inside. Derry tells Lamb that his family members often talk about his future. They thought when they are not there, what would happen to him? Lamb encourages him that he has 2 arms, legs, eyes, he has a tongue and a brain, and he has the ability to do anything what he wants. Lamb asks him to be his friend, asks him to come anytime, and Lamb has asked him to help him in getting ripe crab apples off the trees. Derry wants to help him, but he wants to go to his home also, because his mother is waiting for him, and he tells him that he would come back as soon as possible. And of course he comes back, but Lamb knew it very well. It has often been happening with him that people always say that they would come back, but they never come. So in between, Lamb climbs on a ladder and unfortunately fell down and died at the spot. And when Dairy comes back, he found that the ladder was fallen and Lamb was lying dead. So it broke his heart. He felt that the very moment he was getting some person who is going to be his friend, and he was encouraging him, he runs through the long grass and says, "I come back, Lamb. I did come back," but there is no response. Dairy weeps and realizes that he has lost his only friend in this world. Thus, Mr. Lamb has infected in Dairy a sense of hope, love for life, and curiosity to discover the simpler joys. Lamb has awakened a desire in Dairy to face the world with his disfigured and spoiled face. We must not lose hope till we have life. In a nutshell, I would like to tell you some important points of the chapter. The actual pain or inconvenience caused by a physical impairment is often much less than the sense of alienation felt by the person with disabilities. Second point is, people are insensitive to those who have disabilities. Third, both Dairy and Lamb are physically impaired and lonely. It is the responsibility of the society to understand and support people with infirmities so that they don't suffer from a sense of alienation. Fourth, the lesson on the face of it is an apt depiction of the loneliness and sense of alienation experienced by people on account of a disability. And the very important fact, optimism in one's attitude helps deal with all the challenges of life. So keeping these points in your mind, you should go through the story. This is a one-act play in which there is a conversation between Mr. Lamb and Dairy, and you will find a lot of things which will encourage you also. Hope you have understood. Thanks for watching video.